Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to help you get the Zettelkasten of your dreams on your work table beside you. Well, today we start a brand new series. Many of you will remember that I did a series on Adler's How to Read a Book. I was so fond of this book that I transferred my bib cards to a ring for easy access because I wanted to use his methods again and again as I read different books. Well, I'm going to give an extended example of doing exactly that with the following book. The book is Hold On, You Lost Me. It's by Bernice McCarthy, and the subtitle of the book is Use Learning Styles to Create Training That Sticks. This author was recommended to me by Marin Flavel, as she has developed methods that are outstanding for teaching. Marin Flavel is using these methods to present how to read the great books of the Western world and incorporate reading them into your life. I can't wait for her book to come out. I'm really looking forward to reading it, but I was very struck by her glowing recommendations for the method that Bernice McCarthy teaches in this book. And why it matters so much to me personally is that I'm writing a book. As many of you know, I'm writing a book on the Zettelkasten that will be a textbook for a course on the Zettelkasten. And I want it to be the most spectacular book out there in terms of helping you get the Zettelkasten of your dreams on your work table. And so that means that I want it to be absolutely as instructive as possible. I want to hit all the bases so that no matter what your learning style, you'll find what you want in that book and you'll be able to create a Zettelkasten by reading that book. So I want to be very attentive to the possible difference in learning styles. I'm going to be using the methods that Adler suggests to absolutely slurp up and digest everything I can get out of this book. So it occurred to me that since this is a really high priority project for me, that if I shared that journey with you, then you can see how you can actually Zettelkasten a book using Adler's methods, and I'll take you step by step using this book as an example. And in the process, I'll be learning how best to share my knowledge of the Zettelkasten with you, not just in the textbook that I'm writing for my course, but also in my podcast so that I can be as effective as possible in helping you achieve your Zettelkasten dreams. So come on over to the down-facing camera for the first step in this journey, and we'll take a look at just tiptoeing into this adventure. See you over there. Here's the book that we're going to be working with for the techniques that we're going to employ. How to read a book. I did a whole series on Mortimer Adler's wonderful book, How to Read a Book, and I will include a link to that series in the show notes, or you can just look up Adler on my YouTube channel and it will point to you to all those videos. In particular, we're going to be following along on the steps as I have recorded them onto my ring bib card. And there's also a video on how to make a ring bib card like this, and I'll also leave a link to that in the show notes. The book that I'm going to be working from as my example book to read is this one, Hold On, You Lost Me, Use Learning Styles to Create Training That Sticks. It's by Asted Press. The authors are Bernice McCarthy and Janine O'Neill Blackwell. And tonight, I'm only taking it this far. This is the bib card that I've created to capture notes on this book. I've got my typical nickname that I always include on the top of my bib card, and I use R. for a reference, the initials of the author, and then each of the letters in the title just to make a little acronym so that I've got a shortcut way of referring to this book. And then also on my bib card, I've included the title and subtitle, the authors, and the publication information, and something very, very important that I always recommend that you include on your bib cards, which is the purpose for me, my purpose in reading this book and why it's important to me. You'll always want to include your reason why you're reading whatever book you want to read. Now, maybe you will want to follow along with a different book, use the methods I show, and Zettelkasten, the book of your choice, or you can follow along with this same book if this book interests you sufficiently. One other thing that you might see here is the picture of the cover of the book. And this is something that I got from Julianne Scherer. She keeps a Kanban board of books that she wants to read. She's in the process of reading and she's finished reading. And she uses these little miniature book images. And I just loved it so much that ever since I saw that, I've been including the book images on my bib cards wherever possible. Starting in our next video, we'll launch into these cards and start following the methods for how to read this book. And we'll be making notations on bib cards, and we'll be turning some of those bib card notes into main notes as we go along. I hope you will find this new series to be fun, enjoyable, and instructive. And I strongly invite you to pick a book that means a lot to you that you want to read really, really deeply, because we're going to use Adler's methods for analytically reading a book. So we're going to really be diving into this. I'm determined to get everything I can get out of this book. So if you've got a book like that you've been anxious to read, and you want the accountability partner beside you as you read the book, I'll be your accountability partner. You can report in the comments how you're doing, and you'll see how I'm doing in the videos as they come along. So join me, pick your book, and let's get going analytically reading the book using Adler's How to Read a Book. See you in the next series where we're going to actually crack the cover of this book and get going. See you then. Bye-bye.